Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young man named Arjun. He had everything a person could want: a loving family, good friends, and enough money to live comfortably. Yet Arjun was unhappy. He would constantly compare himself to others, envy their lives, and complain about what he didn't have. His heart, full of dissatisfaction, never let him find peace. No matter how much anyone tried to cheer him up, he stayed the same. One day, he heard about a wise monk visiting the nearby temple. People said the monk had a calming presence and his words could change lives. Curious, Arjun decided to meet him, hoping to find the secret to happiness. When Arjun's turn came, he bowed respectfully and said, "O wise one, I feel miserable. My heart is never at peace, and I don't know why. I want to be happy like others. Please show me the way." The monk, looking at Arjun with kind eyes, said, "Ah, my child, the happiness you seek is already within you. But you are looking for it in the wrong place. Let me tell you a story that might help you understand." Arjun nodded eagerly, listening intently. The monk began. Once upon a time, there was a poor farmer named Govind. He lived in a small hut with his wife and 2 children. Life was tough, and every day he struggled to feed his family. One evening, while sitting under a tree after a long day of work, Govind sighed and said, "Why is life so unfair? Look at my neighbor Keshav. He has a big house, a flourishing farm, and everything he could ever want. I work just as hard, yet I have so little." The next morning, as Govind was plowing his field, an old sage passed by and saw the sadness on his face. The sage stopped and asked, "Why do you look so troubled, my son?" Govind replied, "Sage, my neighbor has everything, but I have nothing. I work all day and barely get by. I don't understand why life is so unfair." The sage smiled and said, "I can help you, but you must do exactly as I say." Govind, desperate for a solution, immediately agreed. The sage handed him a small, empty pot and said, "This is a magical pot. It will grant you happiness, but only if you fill it with the things you are grateful for. Every morning and evening, place one thing you are thankful for into the pot. Do this for a week, and you will see the difference." Govind was skeptical, but decided to try. That evening, he thought hard and dropped his first gratitude into the pot. "I'm grateful for my wife, who always supports me," he said. The next morning, he added another. "I'm thankful for my children's laughter, which fills this hut with joy." Day after day, Govind filled the pot, thanking the sun for shining, the rain for watering his crops, the food on his table, and the love of his family. By the end of the week, Govind's heart felt lighter. His eyes no longer looked at Keshav's house with envy. Instead, he noticed the beauty in his own life, the moments of joy he had ignored before. The sage returned and asked, "Tell me, Govind, have you found the happiness you were seeking?" Govind smiled and said, "Yes, sage. I was blind to the blessings in my life. This magical pot has shown me that happiness isn't about having more. It's about appreciating what you already have." The sage chuckled and said, "My son, the pot isn't magical. The magic was in your heart all along." With that, he left. The monk finished his story and looked at Arjun. Arjun sat in silence, absorbing the lesson. Finally, the monk said, "You see, Arjun, happiness doesn't come from chasing what others have or comparing your life to theirs. It comes from being grateful for the blessings in your own life. Start each day by appreciating the little things: a smile, a kind word, the food on your plate. When you stop looking outward for happiness and start looking inward, you'll find it was there all along." Arjun bowed deeply and thanked the monk. From that day on, he changed his outlook. Instead of chasing after what he didn't have, he started cherishing what he did. Slowly, he found the happiness he had been searching for all along. So in your life, if you ever feel unhappy, remember the story of Govind and his magical pot. Start small. Look around. Notice the blessings you already have. Happiness isn't something you find outside. It's something you create within.